sure that we send people that love fish to try and make sure that you love fish as well, because fish is protein based. It will not make you too fat. When you eat too much meat, you get this pot belly. But with fish, I'm just bringing joke because I want us to be laughing. It's going to be a long day. But fish really, it trims you down and gives you really a very good health. So we want to ensure that, Liberia, we are doing the same. So this means that fish resources of Liberia is currently untapped. This presents the compelling importance of this National Fisheries Investment Forum, which presents an opportunity for Liberia to obtain valuable contributions and networking to support the national strategy for the fisheries and marine resources sector of Liberia. Mr. Chairman, Your Excellency, the full potential of our fish resources can only be achieved if our fisheries are properly managed using harmonized approaches to attract private sector investment for sustainability. Regional financing approaches rolled out through support from the World Bank and Global Environment Facility has been a bright example of harmonized approach that leverage from the West Africa Regional Fisheries Program to strengthen our fisheries monitoring, control and surveillance, the introduction of territorial use rights in fisheries through the establishment and management of marine protected areas using co-management approaches and the assessment of our fish stocks abundance. The lessons learned can form a strong baseline for a more ambitious fisheries investment program in the West Sub-region. The audience present here today provide hope that this National Fisheries Investment Conference will create the necessary network for investment mobilization and partnership for the development of the fisheries and aquaculture sector of Liberia and our countries that are managing shared fishery resources. Let me end by thanking the National Fisheries and Aquaculture Authority. Mr. Cyrus, thank you for extending a brotherly hand to your sister country, Sierra Leone. We have worked together. I remember you were both together in Morocco. We worked and we promised that we'll be working on projects. We are not neighbors, seriously. We live in each other's houses. So definitely I'll be coming over, and feel free to call upon me at any time. We also want to thank the World Bank Group and Pro Blue team and the team of the Liberia Sustainable Management of Fisheries Project, the European Union, Orange Liberia, and the OPEC Fund for organizing this important conference. Thank you for listening, and may God bless us all.
Thank you. Sierra Leone is not a neighboring country. Ghana as well. Senegal, all the countries, they are not neighbors. So together we will win. Thank you so much. I will ask my colleague to come and continue the presentation. Thank you. Welcome her, please.
Thank you, Dr. Tao, and thanks to all of you. Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, today at Bongema 2026, we are joined by representations from the Liberian legislature. And here in this building, we have the chairman of the Liberia Senate Standing Committee on Agriculture, Forestry, and Fisheries, Senator Wellington G. Van Smith. He has been joined by a member of the Liberian House of Representatives. She serves as a chairperson on gender equity, child development, and social services. Honorable Mema Bridge Meza. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. We continue with our remarks. And on this note, it is a pleasing honor to call upon the chairman of the Board of Directors of the National Fisheries and Aquaculture Authority and the Honorable Minister, Ministry of Agriculture, Republic of Liberia, Honorable J. Edezana Nuta, for remarks. Thank you.
His Excellency Joseph Yuma Boakai Sr., President of the Republic of Liberia, the Honorable Chair and members of the legislature here present, our distinguished development partners, the Honorable Chair of the Committee on Fisheries of the West and Central Gulf of Guinea, esteemed members of the diplomatic corps here present, officials of government, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It is our pleasing honor to stand before you this hour in recognition of the great efforts of the National Fishery Authority of Liberia to gather here today at this conference. On behalf of the Board of Directors of the National Fishery and Aquaculture Authority, NAFA, I join the NAFA family as chairman of the Board of Directors to welcome you to the Republic of Liberia as you join us at this important gathering, the first Fishery Investment Conference, or Bongema, here in Liberia. At the onset, let me extend thanks on behalf of the Board of Directors to the Director General and his team for their foresight and leadership in organizing such meaningful and forward-looking conference. We also wish to thank our development partners for their valuable support and contributions to this Bongema. As we convene here today, we warmly welcome private sector actors and investors to take advantage of the immense opportunities within Liberia's fisheries and aquaculture sector to invest into our rich and largely untapped aquatic ecosystem. This Bongema, or conference, is not only timely, but strategic. It reflects our collective commitment to unlocking the vast potential of Liberia's fisheries and aquaculture sector as a key driver of national development. As we align the sector with the government's development framework, it is important to underscore that agriculture stands as the first pillar in the government's arrest agenda for inclusive development. Within this pillar, fisheries and aquaculture occupies a central role in achieving national food security, economic growth, and sustainable livelihoods for our people. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the importance of fisheries in the Liberian economy cannot be overstated. First, fishery is critical to food and nutrition security. Fish remains one of the most affordable and accessible sources of animal protein for majority of Liberians. In a country where ensuring adequate nutrition is both a priority and a challenge, strengthening fisheries directly translates into healthier communities and a more resilient population. Second, the sector is a powerful engine of job creation. From the artisanal fishers operating along our coastline, to fishmongers in the fish markets, to emerging aquaculture entrepreneurs, fishery provides livelihoods for thousands of Liberians, particularly women and youth. With the right investment, this number can grow exponentially, thereby reducing unemployment and empowering households across the country. Third, fisheries contribute significantly to economic diversification and revenue generation. Liberia's marine and inland water resources are vast and largely underutilized. I heard my sister talk about we have more fish here than we are fishing, so Sierra can also join us to fish. But let's do it within the framework of our agreements, so we get some revenues too. By investing in the fishery value chain, processing, cold storage, transportation, and export, we can transform fisheries into a major contributor to our nation's gross domestic product and foreign exchange earning. Fourth, the sector holds immense potential for private sector participation and innovation. Aquaculture, in particular, offers a unique opportunity to scale production, stabilize supply, and reduce pressure on wild fish stock. With modern technologies, improved breeding systems, and the sustainable feed development, Liberia can position itself as a competitive player in regional and global seafood markets. Finally, fishery is essential for environmental sustainability and climate resilience. When managed responsibly, our aquatic resources can continue to provide for generations. This requires strong governance, science-based decision-making, and partnership that prioritize conservation alongside economic growth. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the theme of this Bongema, Unlocking the Blue Horizon, the future of fisheries and the blue economy, is not just a statement. It is a call to action. It challenges us to move beyond potential and into purposeful investments. It calls on us to build partnerships that are bold, innovative, and results-driven. As a board, we reaffirm our unwavering commitment to providing strategic oversight, ensuring transparency, and creating an enabling environment that attracts sustainable investment into the sector. We stand ready to support policies and initiatives that will make Liberia a hub for fisheries excellence in the region. To our development partners and investors, we say Liberia is open for business in fisheries and aquaculture. The opportunities are vast, the returns are promising, and the impacts are transformative. In conclusion, let us seize this moment to explore the existing opportunities in our fisheries sector. Let us invest not only in a sector, but in a future, one where fishery drives inclusive growth, empower communities, and secure prosperity for our nation. I thank you.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, kindly join me in giving a warm and resounding round of applause to the board chairman of NAFA. Thank you. Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. At a time when Liberia is positioning itself as a frontier for strategic investment, particularly within the blue economy, today, the Ministry of Finance plays a pivotal role in creating the enabling environment through sound policy, investment-ready frameworks, and sustainable financing pathway. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, on this note, representing the Honorable Minister of Finance and Development Planning, it is a pleasing honor to welcome to this podium the Deputy Minister for Economic Management, Ministry of Finance and Development Planning, Republic of Liberia, Honorable Depu Wazuo.
Your Excellency, President Joseph Newman Boakai, our distinguished invitee guests, our development partners, cabinet ministers, members of the private sector, one and all. On behalf of Minister Augustin Kpeye-Gafuan, who is currently at the African Development Bank Forum, I want to first extend thanks and appreciation for the opportunity given us at the Ministry of Finance by the President to design the arrest agenda to ensure that Liberian people have the best opportunity to transform their own economy. It is an honor on this platform to discuss the issue of blue economy and investment forum, which is under the direct supervision of the President, whose arrest agenda recognizes Liberia's 580-kilometer coastline as an opportunity for innovative financing and natural endowment to build Liberia wealth. President Boakai mandated that inland and ocean fishery must be transitioned from subsistence activity to productive sector contributing measurably to the GDP of Liberia to provide employment, export earning. At this forum, we answered the question, and also the mandate of the President by connecting capital with opportunities, aligning investment with sustainable practices, and ensuring Liberia fishery development serve both economic growth and environmental stewardship. Liberia possesses abundant fish stock in coastal water and inland systems, yet we import fish to meet domestic consumption. Our fishermen work with artisanal equipment inadequate for commercial scale harvest. Our water attracts foreign workers and also foreign vessels operating under license agreement that generate minimum revenue while depleting our stocks. Our fishing processing capacity remains rudimentarily low, limiting value addition and export potential. This is not about resource scarcity, but systematic underinvestment. We possess the asset base for the thriving fishery sector, but lack the capital deployment, value chain infrastructure, and regulatory framework to realize that potential. At the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning, we see blue economy not as a peripheral issue, but a central pillar of our national development plan. That growth and development strategy will ensure that every young Liberian and women of this country expand their horizon and potential in investment. This forum will provide the opportunity to generate quality jobs, especially for young people and women, expand export base and foreign exchange earning, provide stable sources of revenue for national budget, enhance food nutrition and security for the country, strengthen resilience against climate change and coastal erosion. At the Ministry of Finance, we recognize the fiscal reality that domestic resources diversification beyond traditional extractive industry is very much cardinal. With donor funding declining from 30% to 6% of our national budget, every productive sector must contribute to revenue generation. Fishery offers immediate opportunity. The sector currently contributes 2% of our GDP despite employing over 30,000 people, a productivity gap that investment needs to be done. Simultaneously, global demand for sustainable seafood creates opportunity for export market across the country, demonstrating keen interest in responsible fishery management in Liberia. Liberia can position itself for certified sustainable supplier to premium market in Europe, across Africa, Northern America, if we invest systematically in cold chain, value chain infrastructure, and compliance identification within the sector. Currently, fisheries is one of the major areas we consider in our national development plan. Operating with basic equipment and limited access to ice, storage facility, transport, lost 40% of catch to post-harvest spillage across the country. Processing facility operate 40% capacity due to irregular raw material supply and aging equipment. Export earnings from fishery products totaling approximately 12 million annually is just a pillar fraction given to the stock availability and the demand in the sub-region. On this note, we want to encourage private sector investment, meaning in cold storage infrastructure, in landing sites required for our fish farmers across the country, priority coastal communities across Liberia, modern processing facility to meet international standards to ensure that we encourage our fishing vessel and modernization to ensure that artisanal fleet demand are accessible for the market. The revenue opportunity is substantial as far as we are concerned. Conservative projections indicate that closing infrastructure gap, improving value chain across the country might actually give us export earnings of 35 to 40 million annually, which of course it can only be done with modernity and technology required to do the job. Indirect job to be created is approximately around 15,000 indirect opportunity for young people and women as well. The Ministry of Finance is more interested to extend beyond sectorial development of fishery. We want to ensure we provide opportunity for blended financing to ensure climate finance is actually an integral part of our discussion. Fishery offered the rapid return on strategic investment in Liberia. Mr. Director General, let me urge you this time that infrastructure deployed today generate more revenue between 12 to 18 months in processing capacity and will provide online job and also export volume for the guarantee for local fishery to prioritize public investment essentially for private sector development. On the other side, we also think that site improvement is very much important and road access is crucial, where the PPP model has already been approved by the cabinet. And we want to encourage NAFA to ensure that we involve in PPP and equity financing of the sector. Finally, we would like to challenge all participants with specific expectation to identify projects that are necessary and are capital intensive to bring transformation in our economy. A regulatory framework and partnership agreement that are worth making sure that Liberia institution can announce what it is to the fishery entity for SME to grow, not only through expression of interest, but available capital deployment across the country. Your Excellency, Liberia is where natural resources are available. With your permission, we want to encourage our private sector dialogue to continue, particularly in the agriculture sector, led by the Minister of Agriculture, to ensure river and ocean flow through our country become economic viability and economic opportunity for this country. Connect capital to opportunity to build relationship and build partnership in West Africa, particularly in the Mana River Union Basin. On this note, I want to thank you for the opportunity and say good deliberation and wish you a successful week. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Minister Depozuo. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Agbongema, partnerships are not just symbolic, they are strategic. Kindly join me in welcoming to this podium the resident representative of the United Nations Development Program, the UNDP, for a remark. He is Aliou Mamadou Dia.
Bonjour, je voudrais souhaiter la bienvenue à nos amis francophones. Je vois des amis du Togo, du Maroc. Je pensais que le modérateur, M. Tal, allait faire ça, mais je pense qu'il a été complètement absorbé par les anglophones du Libéria. So, vous êtes les bienvenus dans ce beau pays qu'est le Libéria, un très beau pays. Pour ceux qui viennent d'arriver, ne vous limitez pas au Farmington. Je vous suggère d'aller à Monrovia et de voir la transformation qui est en train de s'y passer. Mais surtout, prenez le temps d'aller voir les beaux paysages que nous avons ici au Libéria. Your Excellency, Mr. President, honorable ministers, excellencies, members of the diplomatic corps, ladies and gentlemen, it is really a great honor to join you this morning or this afternoon at the opening of this very important conference, convened at a decisive moment for Liberia's development journey. Let me begin by commending my brother, the Director General of NAFA, but the entire leadership with His Excellency, commending the government of Liberia for this leadership, for its leadership and vision in placing fisheries and the blue economy at the center of the national transformation agenda. The team that brings us today here, Unlocking Blue Horizons, is both timely and strategic because because Liberia's future prosperity will not only be shaped by what lies beneath its soil, but increasingly by what lies within its waters. Excellencies, allow me to structure my reflection of today around three interrelated questions. That question that should guide our collective ambition for the next 2 days. The first one is, how do we transform Liberia's fisheries sector from subsistence to scale? The second one is, how do we transform Liberia's fisheries sector from extraction to sustainability? And the last question is, how do we transform this sector from potential to prosperity? Ladies and gentlemen, these are not abstract questions. These are policy choices. These are investment decisions. And ultimately, they are about the future we choose to build for Liberia. Let me make a pause on the first question, from subsistence to scale. So we all know that fisheries sector remain a vital source of livelihood and food security. Yet, it is still largely characterized by fragmentation, limited infrastructure, and constrained market access. So the challenge and opportunity is to evolve from a system of survival to a system of growth. So this transformation or this transition requires deliberate action. First, investing in infrastructure at scale, from landing sites to cold chain systems and processing facilities, and I think it has been overemphasized, so that value can be preserved, enhanced, and captured locally. Second, developing a pipeline of bankable investment opportunities. I know that investors are ready to engage, but they require clarity, they require structure, and they require predictability. I'm a Francophone, sorry. Store and protect critical ecosystems and promote private sector engagement by supporting informed SMEs in climate-smart business solutions. The project will be implemented in Bong, in Lofa, in Nimba, Grand Cape Mount, Margibi, Maryland, and Montserrado. This initiative of $10 million will be launched alongside NAFA, the Ministry of Agriculture, the Liberia National Tourism Authority, and the Environmental Protection Agency. Such interventions demonstrate that scaling is not theoretical. It begins with addressing concrete bottlenecks and then expanding them systematically. The second question I ask is about transforming from extraction to sustainability. Your Excellency, there can be no longer prosperity without sustainability. Liberia's marine resources are a national asset, but also a shared responsibility. Efforts to strengthen governance and address illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing are therefore essential and commendable. Because every gap in enforcement is not only an environmental concern, it is also an economic loss. UNDP is proud to support the government of Liberia in this regard through the Monrovia Metropolitan and Climate Resilience Project, we call it MMCRP, co-funded by the government of Liberia and the Green Climate Fund. It's a $25 million project, and the government of Liberia is providing $6.5 million in cash and in kind. I want you to upload that. So the project is about to strengthen marine protected areas in 5 communities, including West Point, Fiama, Jacobtown, Plumco, and Torpo Village communities, enhancing community-based and mangrove restoration for fish breeding and natural resource management. Mr. President, I'm pleased to inform you that the construction of the 25 million coastal protection structure in West Point will begin in the coming weeks. And it will be our pleasure to have you break ground of this great initiative to save communities of West Point from sea erosion. We reach out to the executive mansion to have you do that, Mr. President. So in parallel of the 8.9 million coastal protection project that we are also currently implementing in Sino County, we are trying also to protect the vulnerable ecosystem. So we will also begin the construction for 4 livelihood centers in 4 fishing communities in Maryland, in Sinoe, in Grand Bassa, and Cape Mount counties as part of building resilience across these communities. Ladies and gentlemen, these initiatives reflect a broader principle in UNDP. Productive oceans depend on a protected ocean. At the same time, sustainability requires diversification and forward-looking investment. In this context, aquaculture represents a strategic opportunity for Liberia to expand production, reduce pressure on wild stocks, and create new value chains. The third question that I ask us to reflect on is from potential to prosperity. Liberia does not lack potential, we all know that. What is required now is the conversion of that potential into tangible, inclusive, and sustained prosperity. This is fundamentally an issue of execution. To move forward, several priorities emerge, and UNDP is working with the government of Liberia on those. First, strengthening coordination. Aligning public policy, private investment, and development support around a shared vision and a clear set of priorities. Second, we need to mobilize innovative financing. I think the Deputy Minister of Finance has talked about it. Blended finance, risk-sharing instruments, and structured investment platforms will be essential to crowd in private capital at scale. Third, investing in people, particularly youth and women, who are central to the fisheries value chain, from production to processing to trade. Fourth, accelerating digital transformation to improve transparency, efficiency, monitoring, and market access across the sector. In this context, the establishment of a national blue economy investment platform could serve as a catalytic mechanism, bringing together stakeholders, structuring pipelines of bankable projects, and accelerating the transition from dialogue to delivery. In conclusion, Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen, Liberia stands at a pivotal moment. The foundation are being led. Our minister from Ghana has talked about it. Strong national leadership, a clear development vision, concrete initiative already underway, and growing interest from partners and investors. What is now required is scale, coordination, and sustained execution. At UNDP, we remain fully committed, Mr. President, to supporting your government, the government of Liberia, and the people of Liberia, on building on ongoing initiatives, such as the MMCRP, the Sino Coastal Protection Project, and investment in fisheries infrastructure, while helping unlock larger transformative opportunities across the blue economy. Let us therefore see the moment of this conference to act with clarity, to invest with ambition, and to deliver with discipline. I thank you for your kind attention.
May we have another round of applause for the UNDP? Thank you so much, Mr. Dia. Thanks for your commitment to the fisheries sector. Well, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, on your tables, we have headphones and we have microphone. Now that Mr. Dia has set the stage to begin with the French language, along the way, I might speak French because I'm a product of the Foreign Service Institute, and we were taught French and Spanish. So please prepare your headphones as we go along. Thank you. So our remarks continue. Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the European Union engagement in Liberia, fisheries and blue economy underscores a shared vision, unlocking inclusive investment, opportunities, and benefit communities and the future generation. Representing the head of delegation of the European Union in Liberia, it is a pleasing honor to invite to this podium a team lead of the European Union who will come here and give remarks on behalf of the EU. Mr. Gilles Mataron, project lead of the European Union.
Your Excellency, President Joseph Neoma Boakai Senior, honorable ministers, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to stand on existing protocol. Good morning to all. Bonjour à toutes et tous. Je suis aussi francophone. It's really an honor today to address on behalf of the European Union, called also the EU, this conference Unlocking Blue Horizon come at crucial moment to unlock the full potential of the blue economy. The EU recognizes DG NAFA strong leadership in organizing this important national fisheries investment conference, and also for the call for action. It was said by Honorable Minister Nuta, we need to act, and this is very key. Today, I would like to highlight three key areas of our cooperation. First, and it was said by many people here, on strengthening governance and sustainability. Sustainable fisheries management is fundamental to Liberia's development, also aligned with the Arrest agenda, and also with African Union Blue Economy Strategy and Sustainable Development Goal 13. The European Union welcomes Liberia signing on the Biodiversity Beyond National Jurisdiction Treaty, a crucial tool for marine conservation. The EU acknowledges also Liberia's progress in addressing illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing, IUU, and encourage continued momentum. It was also raised by DG NAFA this morning, and we are really grateful for all this progress. Our 59 million euro West Africa Ocean Program strengthens regional ocean governance, but also job creation and biodiversity protection. Through this program, we are integrating mangrove conservation, vital for fish stock, coastal protection, and carbon storage. It was also raised by many speakers here today. In Liberia, we are working on value chains. Our Seeds for Liberia program is improving aquaculture production. And later this year, in a few weeks, we will launch with NAFA and the Minister of Agriculture, we will launch a 25 million euro program supporting artisanal fishers and fishmongers in all 9 coastal counties. And this we hope to sign in the few weeks. Again, thanks again for the strong partnership. Second point, on advancing the blue economy. The blue economy presents real opportunities in Liberia. It was also said this morning by everyone. And at the European Union, we will also still focus on this advance on blue economy. Our 25 million private sector program development support aquaculture businesses, benefiting to local communities, but also is strongly focused to boost investment. And we are also really happy to co-sponsor this investment conference. We are also exploring innovative financing like green and blue bonds to mobilize investment. Because today, it was said by many speakers, we are here for investment, and the European Union is boosting investment. A start was made during the recent Liberia EU Business Forum. I recognize a lot of honorable ministers and also DG Nafaz who were in Brussels with us. It was a key moment to identify Liberia EU investment partnerships and many more. Investment pipelines and bankable projects were presented and discussed, including on fisheries. Business-to-business moments were organized, and I'm sure today it will be the same, and we want also to see more. Today's conference constitutes an important follow-up and shows both Liberia and European Union convergence towards a partnership promoting joint investment for equitable growth. Through our global gateway strategy, we are supporting marine security, improving port efficiency, and also fostering trade links. A concrete step was taken at the Liberia EU Business Forum, where APM Terminal signed a memorandum of understanding with the Liberian company Global Logistics Service Group to develop an export processing zone in the port. Finally, on moving forward together, we are here for partnerships. Our engagement is guided by partnership. We are investing in people, ensuring fishers, women, and youth have skills and opportunities. We are also protecting natural assets like mangroves and marine biodiversity. But today, it's clear we are also scaling up sustainable investment that deliver economic, social, and environmental benefits. And we are also strengthening governance through transparency and regional cooperation, and I'm really happy also to see many countries here from West Africa. In conclusion, Your Excellency, the challenges are real, but so are the opportunities. The European Union is committed to continue walking this path with Liberia as a partner invested in shared success. This conference is an important step, and together we will navigate the waves and unlock the blue horizon for Liberia, West Africa, the European Union, and our planet. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mataron. Please convey our best wishes to the European Union. I want to say merci beaucoup and gracias. So our remarks continue. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we have the honor of welcoming a long and strategic partner when it comes to fisheries development in Liberia. And by the way, our being here today, it has been made possible through the Liberia Sustainable Management of Fisheries Project, supported by the World Bank, to the National Fisheries and Aquaculture Authority. It is a pleasing honor now to invite to this podium the country manager of the World Bank Liberian office, Madam Georgia Walling, for a remark.
The new clay hatchery, the Sea King, Liberia's first semi-industrial